Neil Haley's show and celebrity interviews live from the Grotto without Greg Hanna, my co-host today. But my guest today, and I'm excited, and this is I love the title of this film. I'm welcome Michael Tove to the program. He has an award-winning short film, Yard Sailing. Michael, thanks for stopping by. But we want to go into your
Thank you. Yeah.
before we get into this film. We want to
hmm
talk about your career in film and how did you get involved in this? You tell me where you're located. I'm like, you're
Uh,
definitely not a Hollywood guy.
no, how did I get into this? Very bizarrely. Um, so fundamentally, I'm in North Carolina, so I'm on the East Coast. Now, up until a few years ago, North Carolina was a major filmmaking state. And then things happened and it kind of slipped by the wayside to an extent. It's coming back. Um, but I was always a storyteller. I just loved stories, and even going way back to my formative years, I was just into storytelling. And in fact, I got through a an advanced English class in high school, not by doing the assigned work so much as by writing little short stories. And one of my influences in my storytelling approach is was the short stories of O. Henry, of Rod Serling, of the Alfred Hitchcock hour, those types of stories that lead you down one direction, down a false path, and then suddenly jerk the rug out from under you with a conclusion or an ending that you didn't see coming. Um, and so much of that, um, there was a British TV show not that long ago, Foyle's War, that is phenomenal because you cannot. It's a whodunit. It's a series of murder mystery whodunits set during the Second World War. And it is impossible for you to figure out who done it until you get to the end. And that's the great stuff about it. So that's kind of where I began. But like so many folks wanting to get into the industry, uh, what I didn't know was a mountain of immeasurable size. And how do you get in? And so way back, I entered it. I answered a cattle call for a feature film that was being shot in my area, The Handmaid's Tale.
Wow.
And I, not the TV show, but the actual movie,
Mm-hmm.
with Natasha Richardson and Robert Duvall and Faye Dunaway, and directed by Volker Schlondorf, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so I went down and I stood in line and I filled out the card. And at the bottom of the card, it wanted to know my availability. And I wrote completely open schedule, which without realizing it was a bit like catnip to a cat. So I got called and I showed up. I went out to their production office, which was literally on set for a lot of it, and I just got bitten by the bug. I mean, I just totally fell in love with it. It was the most extraordinary experience, and it was just like, holy cow, I've got to try to do this. And so I spent a lot of years acting, trying to break in, as it were. Getting parts, but never quite getting that magical Taft-Hartley to
Right.
join the guild, you know. Um, and jump fast forward, yes, now I'm SAG eligible. I Taft-Hartley on yard sailing. I Taft-Hartley myself. I was an actor in the film, but I was also the producer. So I Taft-Hartley myself. Um, I hope SAG doesn't get all upset with me at that, but okay. I'm a SAG signatory producer, so why not? Um, but you know, and just one thing led to another, and
Right.
but I always wanted to write. That was really wanted what I
Exactly. Yeah.
wanted. And so I did this so that I could learn about how films were made, what scripts look like, and I got some understanding of it. Um, and then I made friends with Tom Mount, who is a Durham native. Durham is 25 miles from me. And Tom was president of Universal Pictures from the early 70s through the early mid 70s through the early 80s, about 8 years, and was responsible for 200 some odd films, some massive films. And Tom and I got to be very good friends. And it was through Tom that I came to realize I needed to take professional screenwriting training. So I spent 15 years training in screenwriting and using the one-on-one coaching services from the Jacob Kruger studio out in New York and a whole bunch of others. And I mean, master classes, Aaron Sorkin master class and Susanna Grant and Linda Sager and just a whole bucket load of others. And then I took actual courses from folks like Carl Iglesias, on and on and on and on and on. And I learned a little bit about screenwriting. And then 10 some odd years ago, I just can't believe it's been that long, but then I met and became friends with Tom Logan, who is a veteran director. He's been, oh my God, in the industry for well over 50 years and directing well over 40. He was a studio director at Universal.
Hmm.
And Tom and I got to be friends. And about 2 years ago, I we were talking about a feature script that I have that he likes and that we're still working on and moving towards. And I threw out, are you all interested in a short? And he said, yeah. He says, let's take a look at it. And so we went into pre-production. Now, to be fair, and I had written this thing years ago, and Tom felt that it needed a lot of tweaking, and he was right. And so we spent, I don't know, 6 weeks tweaking it and getting it to a point where it was super, super tight, and away we go. And that's how yard selling came to be.
All right.
But
So interesting. You
but
went through all that education, all these
yeah,
different things from actor to producer to director. What do
right.
you think the hardest job is? Acting, producing, or directing?
Uh, None of the above. They all have their own individual challenges. I'm not a director. To me, writing comes easy. Producing is hard because it's the one area where you really don't have a lot of control. Because the thing that has the control is where you got to get the money.
Right.
And that's tough as nails. I don't know. I I think I think that one of the things that folks don't realize is that every single one of these roles is a profession in and of itself.
Right.
And none of them are, I'm just going to wake up one day and do it. They take an enormous amount of dedication, an enormous amount of training, an enormous just commitment to excellence, to the art, to the craft.
Yes.
And it becomes a collaborative effort. From my perspective, when I walk on a set, and I've been on more than one set, but when I'm on a set, a really good one, you've got a team of folks who really know their stuff.
Right.
And the most important thing is for everybody to respect it, to get out of the way and let them do their jobs and not try to micromanage, I think you should do this, or I think you should. And I've been on sets where you have the scripty, for example, trying to direct the actors, which is like ridiculous. It's a complete no-no. But not only is it just bad, it muddies up what the line of authority is, who should be doing what. It was just ridiculous, and the product was terrible as a result. It's just a disrespect for everybody in the industry that's not you. And so I love the idea of collaboration. I love the idea that everybody brings something special to the project. And I've seen it on films that I was in. I've seen it on films that, including yard sailing and other projects that I've done. There is this dynamic that happens when you've got a really good cast and crew,
Yeah,
and where people are working with each other without without the egos getting in the way, and
exactly.
it's wonderful. It's magical when it's right.
But see, you put all that time, that study, that hard work in, and guess what happens? You are an award-winning
I
filmmaker.
get to make a movie, yeah,
Yeah, but you're award-winning, so that you've gone and
well,
won
yeah,
so many
okay, well, there's that yeah, award winning,
that
and
people like your film. That's what I'm
yes,
saying. Yeah,
people like my film, and I yeah, and it's funny, when we were on set, which was a little over a year ago now, Matt,
right.
everybody kept asking me, does it feel real yet?
Exactly.
And it didn't. It absolutely didn't. Even to an extent to this day, I show the film to folks, and there's my name on, on the opening credits, and it still doesn't feel completely real. But I watch it and I see everybody. I mean, all the people that you don't see. So I watch a scene and I'm going, yeah, I was standing over here, and Mario had his camera there,
Yeah.
and our, and Noelani was there, and Tom was there, and everybody that was involved. And I know where they were. I know what they were doing. I know what happened 10 minutes before. I know what happened 5 minutes after. Um, it takes you out of the film in a way. You see things that nobody else gets to see, which is cool.
Yeah. It sounds awesome. It sounds so cool. So let's talk about yard sailing now.
Yes. Okay. Well, so it was a story. Now I have to be careful. I'm not going to tell anything because I don't want to spoil it,
It's a
because
short. Yeah, because you
it's
go
a
ahead and
short,
watch
but
it. Yeah.
it is definitely one of those Hitchcockian type stories.
Okay.
And anybody can watch it because I've put it on my website, which is emeraldoakproductions.com. You just go to there, go to yard sailing and watch film. There's just a link and you can click on it. You won't see it in super high quality because it's on a, you know, it's just uh 10, it's not theater quality. But MP4 is what it is. But it was an idea that I started, oh my God, uh 36 years ago,
Wow.
something
Okay.
like that. And there was a concept to the story. It started off as a what if? What if this and then that? And it evolved like everything does. But the fundamental premise behind this never changed. And
Right.
from a the level at which I can reveal is that this was a story fundamentally about this happy suburban couple, Jim and Sally Marsh. And they're loving, and they're great, but they are about as opposite as they could be. Sally has this effervescent, sort of serendipity view of the world,
Right.
that great things will come to you just because they should.
Right.
That she is going to find treasure at a yard sale. And she knows this because somebody somewhere that she can't exactly remember, in Kansas or California, found a painting at a yard sale by a master, a Picasso or somebody that she can't remember. But it was bought for $5 and turned out to be an original masterpiece, and it sold on auction for $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And Sally is now certain that if she goes to a yard sale she will find treasure. And if you think about it, everybody that goes to yard sales is looking for hidden treasure some way or another. I mean, that's almost what they're about. And and so the title yard sailing came fundamentally because when I was younger, my wife and I would go to yard sales, and she just called it yard sailing. I want to go yard sailing, which made the object a verb, and we all knew exactly what that meant. And so it just struck me that this was a good title.
Yeah, and it's so much fun going to yard sales, regardless if you're the man
Yeah.
or the woman. It's getting out in the
Well,
environment.
it
You
is.
never know what you're going to find. I love going to thrift shops as well. I had that those fun
Sure.
those whatever discoveries you're going to find at a thrift shop, or go figure, brand new clothing at a thrift shop that's
Well,
sold,
that's
and you
right.
could see
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see the
It's just
yard
and it's
sale.
antique. Yeah, it's like going into antique stores, except it's or flea markets. I mean,
Yeah,
flea markets are fabulous. In this particular case, however, Jim is has work obligations, and he made a promise to Sally to take her to a yard sale, and he doesn't want to be there. So you have this conflict between this is all she wants to do. The one thing that she wants to do the most is go to a yard sale. The one thing that Jim wants to do the least is go to a yard sale. And she guilts him into taking her. And so he's supporting her, but he really doesn't want to be there.
right.
And when you see the film, you'll see just how bad we made it for Jim because he's sitting in it's hard to tell, but there was a little at the yard sale that we set up for this. There was this little baby, a small child's plastic chair. You know, it's like this high,
Yeah,
right? That's what Jim is sitting on. He's sitting on this little kiddie chair, playing with a football that he doesn't want and wishing he was anywhere else,
but a yard sale.
especially back home working,
Yeah.
while Sally is having this good old
Oh,
time.
so the couple really doesn't like the one likes it while the other one's wishing they're somewhere else.
Exactly. Yeah, no, they're complete opposites and
Oh my
in every
goodness.
way. So Sally, like I said, is effervescent and very sprite and excessively optimistic. And Jim is very pragmatic and very methodical
Yeah, I know.
and a little sarcastic. And so Jim uses dry sarcasm to express his disapproval of something.
Oh my.
And Sally just kind of 99% of the time lets it go, except that when she feels that Jim is getting the upper hand, she uses guilt. And so she guilts him into doing what she wants. Jim, you made a promise, and a promise is a promise, and you promised.
So there's so much to this. I don't want you to give this away.
No, I'm
This
not,
seems
but
this is the, but this is really painting a picture for
sure.
us.
But then Sally finds something at the yard sale that sets them off on a course of treasure hunting, and it doesn't go exactly according to plan. And
Uh,
I'll leave it there.
that's perfect. Now, what I'm going to go with you, Michael, on this is you did get a pretty interesting cast,
Oh, we
right?
had a
So talk
fabulous
about
cast.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who are talk about the cast?
Well, okay. That was not me. That was Tom Logan, the director. The director does the casting. And so, yes, we had Eric Roberts and Eliza Roberts in it, and you know, um, partly I've not asked Eliza why she sent in an audition tape, but she did. She sent in an audition tape, and and we decided that that was a really good choice, and so we cast her, and then we later approached her and Eric about playing Senator Devon, kind of thinking that Eric would be politely refusing, but he said no, he was very interested in, and so it worked out really well. the our leads were Georgia Van Kylenberg, who is this phenomenally gifted. She's actually Australian now, though when you watch the film, you have no clue of it. And Liam Bradford and Liam in Georgia. And we just Tom called me earlier, I don't know, an hour ago, and we were talking about this, that people have been commenting about the chemistry between the two of them, which was fundamentally Tom's doing very deliberately. Tom as a
Mm,
director, that's
yeah,
his that's one of his strengths is it's easy to pick an actor, a performer who is a good actor. It's
right.
not so easy to pick two actors that are good with each other.
Exactly. And they are.
And the magic isn't in the dialogue. It's in the space between the dialogue. It's in what happens when they're not talking.
Exactly.
And in my acting classes, they taught us this, but watching it unfold in front of my eyes on set was eye-opening, no pun intended. And it just blew me away. Um, I was literally standing there screaming inside my head. I wanted to just cheer and go, yay. And of course, we're rolling, so no. But there was this magic between our lead actors, and the reality is then the magic existed. Eric and Eliza never acted opposite each other; they had very different roles, but there was this magic that happened when uh, Eric and Liam, who do interact with each other, when they were doing it, or when Eliza and Georgia were in a scene. And one of my favorite scenes is between them, and Eliza actually improved a bit. And I told her, I said, that was a year later. I had a chance. I was out in LA, and yeah, I don't live in LA, but I do go there from time to time.
Yeah.
And so I had opportunity to have lunch with Eric and Eliza, and I was telling her, I said, this one scene that you did, this thing, there was something in there that you had done that wasn't in the script, and it was fabulous. And she said, I was so worried that you would not be happy with me changing it. And I was like, no, I mean, what you came up with was spectacular.
Right.
It made it. And
Mhm.
the only thing I'm upset about is that I didn't think of it first.
Well, Michael, this
Yeah.
sounds fantastic. You're
Yep.
offering it free.
Yep.
Is it and other platforms cost, or you're only offering it for free on your website?
Well, right now, no. Right now, because it's going through the film festival circuit, and we are, as of 3 days ago, we have now uh, crossed the 300 mark. So we are actually 303 festival awards,
Right.
220 wins on IMDb. It's crazy numbers. I mean,
Fantastic.
these numbers. I mean, nobody keeps track of this, so I can't say for sure, but from what I can tell,
Right.
that yard sailing is within the top 10 most awarded live action short films in existence.
Well, can
It's
see,
just freaking nuts.
Michael, are you done yet? Are you going to
No,
something
of
after
course I'm
this?
not done yet. No, we're just getting started.
What are you thinking?
So
What do you have other projects coming?
absolutely, I've got multiple. So I'm in production right now on a CG animated short called Ordinary Processes. And so it's computer graphics animation. So we don't have any actors, but we're in the the production process on that. And then I've got another short that I'm gonna be doing sometime in the summer with one of my friends from yard sailing. And then I've got a feature that we're in the process of getting funded. And I just had a call with Tom, and we're starting to talk about who do we want to Tom's going to direct it, and we were talking about who do we want to be our cinematographer, and so we had some ideas about that, and we're starting to discuss who our cast is going to, our cast, but also our crew. You set the crew first.
Yeah.
And then I've got a script that I wrote several years ago for a friend of mine. It was a contract script, and supposedly that's going to be shot this fall. So yeah,
You got a
I'm
lot going, and
I
keep
got a lot
promoting
going.
yard sailing.
I'm traffic backed up
Fantastic.
over
I'm excited for
the
you.
airport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So the final question my co-host always asks all the
Okay.
celebrities, Michael, is this. What is the most important thing in life you've ever learned?
Um, I think it's my mantra, which is that life is filled with once in a lifetime opportunities. And most people miss them because their antenna are not up, they're not paying attention. And these things just come and they go, and they're very fleeting. And either when you recognize them, when they come at you, you take action and you move forward. And sometimes it's just the thinnest thread. But if you don't grab onto the thread, it will vanish forever and never be there again. And so that's that. And never, ever, ever give, if you're that, never, ever, ever give up, and never assume that it's going to come as easy as you think. It never does. Anybody that wants to chase a dream must be willing to put in the work and assume the work is 1,000 times harder than you ever imagined it was going to be. But you do it, and then you get a reward that nobody else gets.
And that's what it sounds like, Michael. And you're just getting started. And I love it. That's the exciting thing. I feel the same way with my agency, all my other projects, a new business I'm getting involved in. And I'm like, this is so much fun.
Yeah,
And that is the thing. But there's a lot of hard work and so much fun. But
yeah.
that's the part of secret of success. And as an award-winning filmmaker, that's what you are. And
Thank you.
continued success. Website again for we can watch yard sailing. Where can we go?
Uh, EmeraldOakProductions.com.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. That was the special simulcast, The Neil Haley Show, and celebrity interviews live from the Grotto without Greg Hanna. Guys, take care.